It's 3:11 in the morning. Your eyes snap open. Heart pounding. That weird metallic taste in your mouth. The sheets are damp at the small of your back, and your jaw is clenched so tight your back teeth hurt. You lie there, staring at the ceiling fan, and you start the list. Maybe it's stress. Maybe it's perimenopause. Maybe it's the wine. Maybe it's your husband breathing too loud. Your doctor said it's anxiety. Your mother said it's just your age. Your friend swears it's cortisol. They're all wrong. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you the real reason your eyes are opening between 3 and 3:30 almost every single night. I'm going to give you the 5 foods that are causing it, including one your doctor probably told you was heart healthy. And I'm going to give you the one blood test your doctor has refused to run. That explains everything. But first, I have to tell you about Diane. Diane is 51 years old. She runs a small dental billing company outside Cleveland. 2 grown kids, 1 golden retriever, a husband who snores. By every external measure, her life is fine. She came to me 14 months into what she called the nightmare. 14 months of waking up at 3:11, 3:14, 3:06. Always within that 20-minute window. Always with her heart hammering. Always followed by 4 hours of staring at the ceiling and one foul mood the next day. Before she got to me, she had seen 5 other doctors. Let me run through them. Her primary care said it was perimenopause and wrote her a script for low-dose hormone therapy. The gynecologist said her estrogen was fine for her age and suggested she try yoga. Didn't work. A sleep specialist did a full overnight study, told her she didn't have apnea, and handed her a pamphlet on sleep hygiene. Her therapist diagnosed her with generalized anxiety and put her on an SSRI. Didn't work. The functional medicine guy charged her $1,800, told her it was adrenal fatigue, and sold her a shelf of supplements. Didn't work. By the time she sat in front of me, she said this, and I wrote it down because I hear it almost every week. She said, "I think I'm losing my mind. I don't recognize myself anymore." I asked her one question, the same question nobody else thought to ask. I said, "Diane, what do you eat for dinner?" She paused. Then she gave me the answer I knew she was going to give me. A big salad around 6:30 with grilled chicken and some balsamic. Then around 8, while watching TV with her husband, a small bowl of vanilla yogurt with a drizzle of honey and some berries. "Because," she said, "I read it helps you sleep." I already knew what was happening inside her body. I had seen this exact pattern in more than 200 women I've tested with continuous glucose monitors. What I had her do next sounds insane. It sounds like the opposite of what every health magazine has told you for 30 years. But it worked in 4 nights. Before I tell you what it was, you need to understand what's actually happening inside your body at 3 in the morning. Because once you see it, you will never look at your nightstand the same way again. Here's what no one is telling perimenopausal women. Think of your blood sugar like the volume on a stereo. When you're young, that volume knob is smooth. You turn it up after dinner, it drifts back down gently while you sleep, and you never notice a thing. Your liver, your pancreas, and your adrenals are passing the volume control back and forth all night like a relay team, and the handoff is clean. Then somewhere around 42, 45, 47, the relay breaks. Estrogen starts dropping. And estrogen, it turns out, is one of the most powerful insulin sensitizers in the female body. When it falls, your cells stop listening to insulin the way they used to. So that bowl of yogurt at 8 p.m., which used to be nothing, now spikes your blood sugar higher than it should. Your pancreas, panicking, dumps out way too much insulin to bring it down. And that flood of insulin overshoots. Around 2:30, 3 in the morning, your blood sugar bottoms out. We eye out. Yout is even desoud, CIDI, naughty eyes, not of probalide. You're broad and fee-eyed, naughty IDI. Naughty IDIs, on the naughty IDIs, naughty IDID. Day Eli the Tide, naughty eyed de-eyed. All lied she de-eyed. It's 3:11. We call this nocturnal reactive hypoglycemia, or in some cases, the HOMA-IR rebound. It's been documented in the medical literature since 1938. Your brain, which runs almost entirely on glucose, hits the panic button. It dumps adrenaline. It dumps cortisol. It dumps glucagon. Your liver gets the emergency signal and floods your bloodstream with stored sugar to save your brain. And you wake up. Heart pounding. Sweaty. Wide awake. Convinced it's stress, or hormones, or your husband, or the wine. It's none of those. It's a chemical 911. Call your body is making to save itself from a sugar crash you caused at 8 p.m. with what you thought was a healthy snack. Now in a minute, I'm going to give you the 5 foods causing this in almost every woman I test. Number 2 is going to make you angry, because your doctor probably recommended it. But first, you need to see the proof. You need to see what we actually caught on Diane's monitor. Because until you see it on a chart, it's just a theory. I put a continuous glucose monitor on Diane's arm on a Sunday afternoon. I told her to eat exactly what she'd been eating.
Salad at 6.
Yogurt at 8. Bed at 10. Here's what the monitor recorded. 7:02 p.m., she eats the chicken salad. Glucose, 91. Beautiful. 8:11 p.m., she eats the yogurt with honey and berries. Glucose climbs to 148 by 8:40. Higher than it should, but not alarming on its own. 9:15 p.m., the insulin kicks in. Glucose drops to 105. Still fine. 10:30 p.m., she falls asleep. Glucose, 88. 12:40 a.m., glucose. 2:51 a.m., glucose. 3:14 a.m., glucose. 61 and climbing fast. She's awake. Heart pounding. Drenched. I showed her the printout the next week in my office. She didn't say anything for almost a full minute. Then she started crying. Not sad crying. The other kind. The kind where someone has been telling you for 14 months that you're imagining something, and suddenly there it is on a piece of paper. She said, "So I'm not crazy." I said, "You were never crazy. You were having a sugar crash every single night, and not one of those 5 doctors thought to look. It wasn't in her head. It was on a chart that nobody bothered to make." Now here's the part where it gets uncomfortable. Because before I tell you the fix, I have to tell you the 5 foods that are doing this to almost every woman I test. Her husband, by the way, argued with her about number 4 for 2 weeks. He was wrong. Counting down from 5. Number 5. Late night fruit, especially grapes, mango, pineapple, and bananas, after 7 p.m. The mistake people make is thinking fruit is free. But the fructose hits your liver while it's trying to wind down for the night, and the spike crash pattern is brutal. Rule: no whole fruit after 6 p.m. if you're waking at 3. Number 4. Wine. Specifically, the 1 glass with dinner that every cardiologist has been telling women is fine for 40 years. Alcohol blocks your liver's ability to release stored glucose between 2 and 4 a.m. It's the single most reliable 3 a.m. wake-up trigger I see. 1 glass is enough. If you're waking at 3, no alcohol within 4 hours of bed for 2 weeks. Test it. Number 3. Sleepy time carb. The slice of sourdough. The handful of cereal. The rice cake with almond butter. Every wellness influencer pushes this because of an outdated idea about serotonin and tryptophan. The molecule does not care about the marketing. It spikes you, then drops you.
Rule:
no starches after 7 p.m. Low-fat flavored yogurt. This is the one your doctor told you was good for you. This is the one on every healthy snack list in every magazine since 1994. A single 6-ounce container of low-fat vanilla yogurt has more sugar than a glazed donut. Read the label. They lied to you. If you eat yogurt, it's plain, full fat, and before 3 p.m. Number 1. The shocker. Oatmeal at dinner. Or worse. Overnight oats, eaten as a late snack. Oats are marketed as the heart-healthy queen of slow-release carbs. In a perimenopausal woman with insulin resistance, oatmeal at night behaves almost identically to a bowl of sugar. I have CGM graphs of women hitting 190 after a healthy bowl of steel-cut oats, then crashing to the 50s by 3 a.m. Rule: oats are a morning food, period. Never afternoon. Cut these 5 and you'll fix about 60% of the 3 a.m. wake-ups in the first week. To fix the other 40%, you need the weird trick I promised you. And the one blood test your doctor refuses to run. Here's what I told Diane to do. 1 sentence. Eat 1 tablespoon of almond butter on a single stalk of celery 30 minutes before bed. That's it. That's the whole thing. Her husband laughed. He said, "You're paying that doctor for celery?" She almost didn't do it. She texted me that night and said it felt ridiculous. Here's the 4-night log she sent me. Sunday night, the night before she started. Woke at 3:11. Soaked sheets. Monday night, first night, with the celery and almond butter. Woke briefly at 4:02. Looked at the clock. Went back to sleep. Tuesday night. Slept until 5:50. Wednesday night. Slept until her alarm at 6:30 for the first time in 14 months. Thursday morning, she texted me one word. Asleep. I texted back, "The fat and protein in that tiny snack slows the overnight liver dump just enough to keep your blood sugar from crashing at 2:30. It's not magic. It's mechanics. It's the same trick endocrinologists have used with type 1 diabetics for 50 years. Nobody just thought to tell perimenopausal women. Now, some of you are going to try this and it still won't work. And the reason is 1 blood test your doctor has almost certainly refused to run. It's called fasting insulin. Not glucose. Not A1C. Fasting insulin. Your doctor runs fasting glucose and tells you you're fine when it's under 100. But your glucose can look perfect for 10 years while your insulin is quietly tripling to keep it there. That's the hidden decade where the damage happens. That's where the 3 a.m. wake-ups live. That's where the belly weight, the brain fog, and the eventual prediabetes diagnosis are being built. Optimal fasting insulin is between 2 and 5. Most doctors don't flag a problem until you're over 25. There is a 20-point window where you are sick and being told you are healthy. Doctors don't run it because insurance often doesn't cover it as a screening test and because they were trained to chase glucose, not insulin. You can order it yourself online for about $39. Ask for fasting insulin and a HOMA-IR calculation. Take the results to your doctor. And please, talk to your doctor before changing any medication you're currently on. Write it down if you have to. If you're a woman over 42 waking up between 3 and 3:30 in the morning, you don't have an anxiety problem. You don't have a hormone problem. You have a blood sugar problem. And it's fixable in about 4 nights. One more thing about Diane. When I pulled her full panel, the fasting insulin we ran came back at 19. In Bach, Yetz, in Machway, in Matract, and when I pulled her full panel, I det salvanau jivre, the H-wation coneffic 4 we, I reading Machwations manage, the Twation seti and slin crace, wast, that re-die, in the beat. Her doctor had told her for 3 years that her labs were perfect. They weren't. And here's what worried me more than the wake-ups. Her liver enzymes were creeping. Her GGT was elevated. Her triglycerides were almost double her HDL. The 3 a.m. wake-ups were the smoke. The fire was something called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and in a perimenopausal woman with rising insulin, it can progress to something far worse within a decade. And by the time it shows up on a standard scan, it is almost irreversible. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you the 4 signs of perimenopausal fatty liver that almost every doctor in America is missing, including the one you can see in the mirror. If you're a woman over 45, you need to see this one. Subscribe and turn on the bell. YouTube is going to bury this one. This information makes a lot of very large industries very nervous, and they would prefer you keep blaming yourself. Majors Comper in 20 show. Majors Company 1919. And to Stadia next to Pre-Evan in the morning fiving in Stadia. Intuation Bopius wide, well side is matriz, recommenten in the morning. Majors Companies recommenten to Priya. And then 90 show that the recommenten. I'll see you tomorrow.